Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom.
Today's lesson is called Strongholds.
Hallelujah. All right, Shabbat Shalom, Israel. Shabbat Shalom. All right, once again, we all are grateful to be here sharing the seventh day that the Most High have chosen unto himself for a day of rest. We thank him for all he's done. We thank him for all the blessings that comes with it. We also thank him for our Hamashiach. We thank him for each and every one of you. We thank him also for giving us traveling grace and mercy as we came in today. We have a lesson today that's going to be, it's a good lesson that we all can get into. Hopefully everyone be engaging. Remember, if you want to have anything to say, just show us your hand and say something. If you have to say it, we'll go forward, right? Okay, so my first question for everybody is, what is a stronghold? Wow, everybody's speaking at one time. Yes, ma'am.
The position you got, you're holding it, can't be, not moving. Stay fast. And it's like maybe somebody trying to push you or pull you, but you stand in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so she hit both sides. Go ahead, sister.
I was going to also add, I'm thinking about a few scriptures, but one thing I'm thinking about is like when they talk about lay aside every weight and sin and easily possess you.
Yes.
Also, I was thinking about like stumbling blocks.
Yes.
And another thing I was thinking is like a heavy burden.
Great. All right. Great. That's three. That's all the responses was good, right? And I don't think about the finger thing. I don't throw signs. Okay, I be trying to count. But anyway, anybody else? I don't do those Illuminati signs or anything like that. Anybody else have? Anybody else have any thoughts? No?
Yeah, like a struggle that a person has in their life, something that they want to get over so they can be aligned, something that they know they shouldn't be doing, but they have a difficult time letting go. Similar to maybe like an addiction or something like that.
Great. Anybody else? Okay. What's wrong? You got a cramp? Okay. All right. Okay. So listen, all the responses was great, right? And all of them are correct. But we want one of the understanding that this lesson is going to give us is that there are good strongholds and there are bad strongholds. Okay? You have something, young man?
A hook can push you back.
Yes, a stronghold can push you back. All right. Get a young man. One of the youngest kids in here. Okay. So strongholds can be good and strongholds can be bad. So we're gonna go down through here a little bit. We're gonna get this discussion going, and we're gonna just go down through here and see if we can learn something on our way to learning something. We're going to start in the book of Philippians 2. We're going to go to Philippians 2 and 12. Philippians 2 and 12.
Philippians 2 and 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
So let's think about that. Who's saying that? Just by the script alone, we should know. We said Philippians. The Apostle Paul, right? Okay, the Apostle Paul is saying that. He's saying, well, he said, they've always, the people of Israel always, and the Gentiles, because remember he went to the Gentiles. He said the ones that was obeying, the teachings that he had brought forth, right? He said, but not always in my presence, but much more in my absence, meaning that when they're by themselves, that they're holding on to his teachings and that they're working they're working their way towards salvation, but they're doing it with fear and trembling. And go ahead, my brother, 13.
For it is Yahuwah which works in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure.
Uh-huh.
Do all things without murmurings and disputings.
Oh, that right there's a biggie right there, right? Because, you know, when you're doing service work, I don't know if a lot of times we pay attention to how we say things sometimes, but we don't want to say it like it's a burden on us, right? We want to take it with a badge of honor that we're able to come forth and do something, you know what I mean, for the Most High, you know what I mean? And it should be like a badge of honor to me, right? Not more or less like it's a problem, right? You know, that we kind of like despise doing it, but we grudgingly doing it anyway. Did your hand up? Okay. And then give me that 15th verse, my brother.
That ye may be blameless and harmless.
So he said, so if you do it without murmuring and without different disputings, then he said what? That you may be what? Blameless and harmless. What?
The sons of Yahuwah, without rebuke.
Wow. Keep going.
In the midst of a crooked and perverse nation.
Because see, y'all know we are in our captivity. We're on our captivity, right? That's why he distinguished nations. So that when Israel was among other nations, right, that we knew that that some of them were going to be perverse because of all of them, because he actually gave, but they're Gentiles, but he actually gave his laws and his commandments to Israel. And he always told them, don't put no God before me. I know Elohim before me, but no God before him, right? And he always said to us not to do what the heathens do, or the other nations do. And you go ahead and finish that, brother.
Perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world.
Because we're supposed to shine as a light. We're supposed to get the knowledge of that the Most High have used his disciples, any of the writings in the book, or anyone that he's actually using to give us now we still have to know how to eat the meat and spit out the bones, but anybody that he's given us to teach us, we're supposed to know how to grasp onto those things that are actually from him and live and let the light shine through us. But we can't make a light shine through us if we're murmuring about what we're doing for him. If we're doing something for him, then we, you know what I mean, then it should be with a happy, you know what I mean, you should be glad to do it type of thing, right? Yeah, you know. So we want to make sure that, in that way a light can shine through you, because when you're telling someone of the Most High, you got to tell his goodness, you know, and his grace. And we should appear like we're getting grace from him. We should appear like we're getting something great from him, because when we understand the magnitude of his grace, we should be all happy about his grace. You know what I mean? So we're going to go down to 2 Corinthians 2 Corinthians 10, 4 and 5. So we got to remember that. So, because we are amongst a crooked and perverse nation of people. Now, listen, that's not saying that no other nation is going to appear in the kingdom. That's not what we're saying, right? That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that according to Scripture, that we are among a crooked and perverse nation, right? And that's it. That's all. But we have to be prepared for that. We're going to take 2 Corinthians 10, 4 and 5. Yes, sir.
2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds.
Wow. So that says a lot, don't it? That says a lot. Because think about it. Let's think about how we approached, how Hashatan worked through people, how we approached and are put in situations, right? Let's just think about how that is, okay? And just think about it, okay? Hypothetically thinking, you kind of like rejoicing in the Lord. You're glad that you in the Most High, Elohim, Mashiach. You're just glad about it, that you're in the truth and everything. And somebody walk up on you and just cuss you out. Where do your mind go?
Like the old self.
It do, don't it? You refer back, right? We go back and then see if we grab that old man out, put him right back and drop him right back into our skin, right? But let's think about that. We know that Hashatan worked through people, right? So we know that by him working through people, that that we have to take that into consideration. So now, he worked through people so that he can get to us and get us off of our foundation. So if he put us off our foundation by sending someone else to cuss us or misuse us or abuse us or just cause havoc, period, or make you feel uncomfortable, period, right? And then we go for it. We feel uncomfortable. We cuss somebody out back. We act and we say, okay, look, we can go outside, right? When you do those things, what just happened? What just happened when you respond that way? Someone had their hand up. Yeah.
You let the spirit, the same spirit that they had, enter into you.
Right. Exactly.
You're focused on you're focused on things carnally instead of spiritual.
Exactly. Because you're dealing with things on a physical level right now. I've been wrong. Someone has approached me. I feel invaded. I got to get rid of this parasite. And whatever it takes to get rid of that parasite is what you're going to do, right? At that time. If you're grounded in the Most High and you're grounded in His Word, as Apostle Paul was saying, it's easy to do it while he's right there. But when you by yourself, if you can do it within the absence of your brethren, because most of the time we get caught saying we're not going to be amongst brethren. It can happen amongst brethren, yes, true enough. But can we sustain? Can we stand strong, right, when those tests come your way? That's a big issue right there. Yes, ma'am.
When the boys were in school, I remember us addressing stuff at the smallest level. Because a lot of times when you get to the point where somebody cursing you out, this been festered for a while, and so now we're at this point, and but I teach them, so they can get in trouble at school.
Right.
When you have the smallest of problems, go ahead and address it.
Right.
If you don't, then you get bigger and bigger and bigger. Now you're fighting.
Now it's blown out of proportion.
Yeah, it's blown out of proportion. So a lot of times we ignore stuff. We don't want to deal with it. But if you don't deal with it, then it festers and stuff like that. It always kept us from getting in trouble.
Yes, definitely. But what if, with the knowledge that we've received in His Word, right, that we were to respond to Hashatan with something that we've learned of the Scripture? Who wins then?
That's the way Yahushua did it.
Yes. That's the path that has been set before us. That's how we actually should deal with it, right? And then if you read that, now, what he just read with the Second Corinthians again, 4.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal,
So bear in mind what we just spoke about. Keep going.
but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds,
And read that 5th verse.
casting down imaginations,
Because now we're dealing with it on a spiritual level. Go ahead.
and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Elohim,
Uh-huh.
and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach.
Y'all see that? So every thought, because thoughts build. Brother Kevin, can you pull me, Brother Amir, one of y'all pull up me Proverbs 23:7? Let me go to 1 Samuel 23.
23:7.
Yes.
Proverbs 23:7.
Uh-huh.
For as he thinks in his heart,
Wow.
so is he.
Ah. Read. Is it more?
Eat and drink, says he to you, but his heart is not with you.
So think about this, right? So as you think in your heart, because once you convert back to that old man, you thinking just like what? Just like the Gentiles, just like the heathen. So that's how you are. When that happens, that's how you are. But we want to stay as close to godliness as possible. Right? So if someone comes at you and you can convert back to scripture, then you're staying close to godliness. But every time something happens, you got to go back to your old person, then you're referring back to what? The worldliness. It's carnal minded, right? So when that happens, now that shifts you off of your it shifts you away from where you actually want to be, right?
Spiritual foundation.
Yeah, just take you right off of it, right? So let's listen to something real quick about David. We're going to go into 1 Samuel 23 and 14. Now that's the spiritual side we were dealing with. Yes, sir. Is it 2 Samuel? Or the 1 Samuel? Should be 1 Samuel. 23 and 14? 2 Samuel. You're right. No. I think it's 1 Samuel. It should start with that. David of old. Yes. 1 Samuel. Yeah. 1 Samuel 23 and 14. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
1 Samuel chapter 23, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And David abode in the wilderness in strongholds, and remained in a mountain in the wilderness of Ziph. And Saul sought him every day, but Yahweh delivered him not into his hand.
So now, wait a minute. What type of stronghold was that? Huh? So remember, you have good strongholds, you have bad strongholds. You have physical strongholds, and you have what? Spiritual strongholds, right? So now, the way we look at David is dealing with a physical stronghold here, because he's dealing with it it says what? And David abode in the wilderness, in the wilderness of stronghold. He was in a physical place.
Right. It's basically like a, it really wasn't, but it's more like a fortress. In other words, like a military, we'll just say like a military, almost encampment. Garrison. Yeah, like a garrison is another word.
Yeah. Because David had what? He had, in fact, out of, who did David first rule over as king? Well, you got Israel, you got two sides. You got Judah, you got Israel. You know, I know they're all Israel, but there's a distinct difference here. Because if you think about what happened, is this, right? Remember, Israel went into bondage and Judah didn't. So now that's what I'm saying. Right. So out of the 12 tribes, what tribe did he rule over first?
No. Judah. He did Judah for
he did Judah for yes, before he took over the whole thing, he did Judah first. Oh yes, that's scripture. Right? So now, let's look at this, right? So when he was out there and just thinking that was Judah first, this is when he first started to take over, because remember, Saul is still seeking him. So he still had Judah around him. So it was like in a garrison. It was in some type of a camp setting that these strongholds was coming up against him. And he remained in a mountain in the wilderness. So he remained where he was at, right? But the Most High did not allow Saul to come down. But let's hold that thought and let's get Psalms 9 and 9. Because the definition of stronghold, a physical stronghold, It's a place that has a fortified, so as a place that has been fortified, so as to protect against attack. A fort, to the brothers right on point, castle, a bunker, or a high tower. Remember that word high tower, or a high tower, right? We're going to read this next scripture, then we're going to go into something real quick to give you understand where we're coming from. Go ahead. Did we get some? Yeah.
Psalm chapter 9, verse 9. Yeshua also will be a refuge for the oppressed.
Take time.
Yeshua will also be a refuge for the oppressed. A refuge in times of trouble.
So when you have a physical stronghold coming up against you, now listen, a good stronghold, let me break that down. A good stronghold is like being dedicated to the Sabbath. That's something you're committed to. That's something you're gonna do all the time, and your heart, your mind won't allow you to get past the Sabbath, not realizing that you went past the Sabbath, or that you are excuse me, in a Sabbath, right? So what's going on here is that Yeshua will also be a refuge in time of oppression. So David was definitely going through a physical oppression at that time because, he had this Saul guy messing with him a little bit, right? Let's think about something. Let's think about Israel. How many of you all watch the movie Glory? Everybody watch Glory? Do y'all remember the 54? Is that 54?
Yes.
Right? Y'all remember 54? 54 was made of what? Basically all Israel, right? All black soldiers, right? But when Israel, and that was the final battle at that was the final battle at that mark where they had the battle at. The opposition was in a tower. They was up on a hill, and these guys had to come up the hill to battle. You notice that? So what is the best position to be in any type of warfare? High ground, right? So if they was up on high ground, that's why they couldn't win. But as 54 was getting ready to go up there, you had all these other soldiers from another nation saying, "Give him a hand, 54! Come on, 54, you can do it!" They pumping 54 up to go over there, right? But 54 is all Israel. It's just like today, right? They pumping Israel up. Israel get pumped up. Israel look out. They think, okay, so Israel, by looking at other nations and being influenced by other nations, think fame. They think that fame is one of the greater things to have in life. They think the big house is one of the greatest things to have in life. They think the fine car, the best of clothing, they put all that before salvation. All that coming before salvation. Why? Because they're doing exactly what the Most High told them. He said, "Do not take on the ways of the heathen." But but Israel as a whole have looked at other nations and figured that this is the best thing that should be. But the Most High told them first, seek your salvation first. Keep my laws first. Keep my Sabbaths first. Right? Seek ye the kingdom first, and everything else will be given unto you. But that is not what we're seeking first as a whole. Right? Now, when 54 went up there to fight this battle, and the opposition was on top of the hill, all they had to do was look down and shoot them and just kill them. None of those guys made it. None of them made it. They just picked them off like flies. Right? None of them could make it because they was in a disadvantage. We as Israel is in a disadvantage when it comes down to we seeking everything other than the salvation that the Most High set before us. We are in a disadvantage because what? At some point in time, it's going to end, and it's going to end to a point that's going to be against us. There was no way that those guys could have taken the fort that they was trying to take, and the opposition had a high tower above them. Our high tower is who? Yahushua HaMashiach. and we focus on Yahushua our HaMashiach, we are then comforted, we are protected by our high tower. We can't use someone else's high tower to protect us because that is not who was set before us as a people to be our high tower. Having a building, owning a building 80 feet high with all the money you want in your pocket is not your high tower. That's going to be, every stone is going to be knocked down and burned up eventually. Just like at the end of that movie, there was no way that 54 could have won. Israel as a whole could not have ever meet their objective against those people they were fighting against. We would never meet our objective if we continue to live calmly. That was a lot of words to get there with. But I got to. Y'all saw I worked through it, right?
It's true, and also what you were saying, like the initial point was that not only are we not fighting, we're fighting carnally. Also, our focus is carnal. So
Yes.
So we're taking out the spiritual realm altogether, and we can fight those things spiritual and carnally through our spiritual means.
So, give me Psalm 144 and 2. Just to back up what he's saying. Let's touch that right quick.
Psalms 144, verse 2.
Yes, sir.
My goodness,
All right.
and my fortress,
Uh-huh.
my high tower,
Uh-huh.
and my deliverer,
Uh-huh.
my shield,
Uh-huh.
and he in whom I trust,
Uh-huh.
who subdueth my people under me.
You see that? So if we stay connected to our HaMashiach, the reason why, as a people, when we went into bondage, that they pulled us away from the Sabbath day. They had us worshiping on a Sunday. They wouldn't let us read the book, right? We practiced a lot of things that the heathen practiced, but we didn't practice anything that the Most High had set before us and told us, this is what you do. This is a part of your covenant with me. This is what you do. They didn't have that covenant. We had that covenant. When you pulled away from the covenant, remember, a covenant is an agreement. If you do this, I'll do this. When we pull back our part of the covenant, that separated us from our Elohim. When we are separated from our Elohim, we're at our weakest point. Israel didn't win any of those wars. David did not win a war. Joshua didn't win a war, nor did Saul win a war. Even better yet, when the 12 patriarchs, when Judah and Dan and Levi and all people was fighting against these other nations, none of them won the war on their own. It was all the doing of the Most High. They could not have won any of that without him. But when they separated us from them, all the other nations was jealous because we had the Most High God. We had the Elohim. There was no other. Remember, even when they was in Egypt and we was coming out of bondage, the Most High took those gods that Egypt had for themselves, and they turned all those gods that they had to show them, I can control your God. And he turned their gods against them. They knew we had the supreme God. So they had to what? They had to turn us against him in order to weaken us as a nation. If we continue to do what the heathens do and put our priorities at the same level of a heathen, we're not going to receive no more than what he's going to receive. If we want the ultimate reception from our Elohim, we have to do something different. So let's go into 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel 22 and 3. 2 Samuel 22 and 3. Yeah, you got the brother Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Elohim of my rock.
Yes, the Elohim of my rock.
And
okay, hold right there for a second and then come back, okay? When we say the Elohim of my rock, what do you think? What do we think of? Do we think of a rock we can pick up and throw across the street? Huh? Do we think of a rock that two of us could get and swing over about 4 feet? Right?
Well, now in this scripture, for one thing, the word rock is capitalized.
Yes,
So that should let us know something.
that's a big rock. So that rock is like our foundation. This is something that can't be moved. Right? Because he said that he's our rock. That means that that's something that we can stand on. That means that there's something that we can depend on that's undefeatable. It's like back during the time of Judah and Dan and Neptune and all those brothers. Naphtali. I said Neptune. I put him on the planet. But Naphtali. There was one time they was having a battle, and those brothers was throwing big boulders down the hill. If you go into 12 Patriarchs and read that, them brothers were throwing down big boulders. I'm talking about literally throwing those down the hill. So I'm saying it to say that our Hamashiach is more greater than something they can even live. Right? So if you go ahead, my brother, and read that again.
The Elohim of my rock. In him will I trust.
Yes.
He is my shield.
Mm-hmm.
And the horn of my salvation. My high tower.
My high tower.
And my refuge.
Yes.
My savior. You save me from violence.
Because if he's your high tower and he's above all the other gods, there's nothing that can touch you because you look down upon everything. Right? You look down upon everything. But wait a minute. He's my horn of salvation. Why is it that at Jericho, when the war of Jericho came about, right? Why is it that the Most High said he wanted to blow the shofar all together at one time? Brother Darren, if you blow your shofar for me real quick. Now, can you imagine if each and every one of us had a shofar and all of us blow them right together at one time? Can you imagine how loud that would be, how powerful that would sound? The Most High would have them blow the shofar, and it gave a sense of power. So when it says that, when the scripture was talking about him being my, where is that? First scripture, saving the balance. We went in 3. My high tower back up. And he said, the horn of my salvation. Israel was well known, but when they blew the shofar, it was so powerful that their opposition, that those people that they was coming up against, their enemy, their oppressors, anybody they was dealing with, the power from those shofars and their trumpets was so loud that it automatically put fear in those people. So when the Most High just show up and they hear from the Most High, just his existence alone is so powerful that it puts fear in anything around it. That's why the children of Israel say, no, we don't want to talk to him. Moses, you go talk to him. We can't take the sound of his voice. You deal with that. You're in the strength. Remember, he's going to kill all us and keep you. You go talk to him, and you come back and tell us what he said, and we'll tell you what to go back and say to him. Because we don't want no direct contact with this guy. I don't think we're going to survive that. You see? But we trust in him as our shield. Because he is our foundation. He is our rock. When we make that our foundation, listen, it's all in the state of mind. Right? Because Proverbs 23:7 says, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you think that, if you feel in your heart, and you know in your heart, you have faith within yourself, that the Most High is with you, and you are living in accordance to his covenant, you have nothing to worry about. You don't have to worry be knocked off when somebody come upon you and they try to get you off your rock, if that's a good word for you. Right? So it's a state of mind. If you think you're worthy, you're worthy. I know people that say, hey man, I'm a ghetto N-I-G-E-R. I'm a N-I-G-G-E-R. I know guys that say that. I'm saying, and you think that, right? That's what you are. I know people that would say today, I know people that would say, I'm ghetto fabulous. I know people that would say that. But because they drive a Mercedes Benz, or because they got a house maybe with 4 bedrooms and a 5 in the garage, they think that by them saying that and people looking at them for what they have, it's a good thing. But to me, it shows that you have a sense of pride about yourself that removes all integrity that a man could possibly have, that sets you off in a path of destruction. Yes, ma'am.
Also, I know the Most High says, if thy riches increase, set not your heart upon them. So a lot of Israel will be blessed by the
Yes,
Most High.
and it's wonderful.
They just have to keep their mind stayed on him. We have people that have been in here and have been rock bottom, and as soon as they got up, they rolled out.
They were gone.
I got something, I'm gone. All of a sudden, they forgot the Most High.
As soon as they got it, they was gone. But you could tell when they was getting ready to go. They stopped reading the book. Everything they responded with was something from 3 years ago that they learned. None of their understanding was updated because they stopped functioning. They stopped functioning within the covenant.
Just to kind of put a stamp on what you're saying, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having, money or having riches or having, things that are, that the world says is nice. It's where our heart is.
Yes.
And just looking at Deuteronomy.
Yes, sir.
This is Deuteronomy 8. Deuteronomy 8:16.
Mm-hmm.
This is he says, "Who fed you in the wilderness with manna, which your fathers knew not, that he might humble you, that he might prove you to do good at your latter end. And you say in your heart, my power and my might, my power and the might of my hand has gotten me this wealth. But you shall remember Yahuwah Elohika, for it is he that gives you power to get wealth.
Yes.
That he may establish his covenant, which he swore unto your fathers, as it is this day." So he gives us this power. He gives us the power to get wealth. He gives us that wealth. But we remember, like he said, you shall remember me.
Yes.
Not ourselves, not thinking that we're the ones in control of this thing. It always has to go back to him.
Yes. Now listen now, without a doubt, I like good things. All right? I've been talking to my kids, man. I want to get me a new car, man. I want one. But I do. I want one. I want one. No, seriously. But as long as I understand that this car cannot become my God or my Elohim, then I'm well within my rights to have it if he blessed me with it. Right? But if I receive that and I become a different person, it makes me feel like that I have I have a better stature about myself, then something's wrong with me.
And Yahushua also spoke about it. I'd have to find where it is, but I think he was talking about the Pharisees when they were, basically acting hoity-toity and going up and giving their tithes. And he's basically saying they received their reward because they were doing that so they could do it. So they can they kind of showcase themselves and, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing this in front of everybody else. So they're looking for the glory of people instead of the glory from our Elohim.
Because they were giving their alms before man.
To be seen by man.
To be seen by man. Right. So when they did that, the man says, "Oh man, that man put in $80." You know what I mean? He put in, no, I'm changing, they had dollars in. He put in 80 pieces of silver. Wow, he jingling. And he left some in his pocket. He jingling, right? You see? But if he had did it to a point where nobody knows what he done, he put it there, then there's no glorification from man. Because if what means the most to you is what a man say and what a man think about you, then you got some problems.
And you're thinking,
because at that point, you're defending your pride, your sense of self-worth. it takes somebody else to make you who you are. What if that person died? Then who you gonna be? Yes, ma'am.
And then I was also thinking about when our forefathers got away from the covenant, and it's got into the different when y'all allowed our forefathers to be captured in these different places, carried away like Babylon, Medes, Persians, and
having many oppressors.
The Greeks and everything. Like it was saying in Maccabees that a lot of our forefathers, when they was in the Greek captivity, they was thinking to themselves that maybe, and also acted upon it by making the covenant with the leaders of the Greek Empire, so that way their suffering the suffering that they was undergoing can kind of like go down. So they forsook the covenant and started, taking and making an alliance and an agreement with the Greek kings, so they can, do the Greek culture.
Not realizing, somebody else, you
just said the ways of the heathen.
yeah.
Right.
So let's think about it, right? Israel was not realizing that not keeping the covenant is what got them there. And then when they started, that's why, and remember we talked about the Pentecost? Remember we talked about what is the Pentecost? What do the Pentecost actually signify? And why is it done every year? Do everybody remember? It's a renewing of the covenant. So what we got to understand is that these people didn't realize that I'm talking about something back up. When they realized that when they renewed the covenant, they came out of bondage or out of their oppression. It took them a minute to get there. But before that happened, they said, well, look, maybe I go ahead and do what they're doing. That whip won't snap so quick. You know what I mean? Maybe he might spare me and hit, the guy beside me or something. So they didn't like the beatings. They didn't like the way they was treated. They didn't like making bricks out of straw and mud. They didn't like that. It was a terrible situation. But even at that, nothing removed any captivity except for a repentance and a what? Renewal of the covenant. That's the only thing that removed it. That's it. That's it. So we're gonna go into Romans 8 and 5. Romans 8 and 5. You got it right, Brother Darren? Yep. Okay, Romans 8 and 5.
Romans 8, chapter 8, verse 5.
And we're gonna read 5 and 6.
For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh.
You see that? So you can find out who's you can find out who's living by the flesh. Just see if everything they talk about is about the flesh. You ain't getting no scripture. You ain't getting nothing. Even if they paraphrase, they not even paraphrasing. Right? Read, brother.
But they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit.
They might paraphrase a little bit. They might not have it completely right. They understand it. Read, brother.
For to be carnally minded is death.
And they don't realize that. Read.
But to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
It's life and peace. Why? Because now when you're spiritually minded, now you put your Elohim sitting on this high tower, right? And no matter what battle you go through, you can't lose. Matthew 12 and 34. Matthew 12 and 34. Matthew 12 and 34. And somebody can pick up Ephesians 5 and 11. Matthew 12, 34 and 35.
Matthew 12, 34, 35.
Yes, sir.
O generations of vipers, generation of vipers.
Yes, sir.
How can ye, being evil, speak good things?
How can an evil person, right? I look at these people that's obviously a part of Illuminati, and they try to give you spiritual advice. All you gotta do is just what? All you gotta do is go right on there and turn on 96 in the morning, and Steve Harvey gonna give you some advice.
Spiritual advice.
Every day. Every day. That's it. And he has spoken out that that's what he do.
Yep.
But he want to give you some spiritual advice. What if I don't want to be Illuminati? Why would I trust that in you? And you might be leaving me right over there. All you got to do now, Lord, is just get that chip. Nah, but you go ahead and you tell somebody else about that. Go ahead, my brother. Where you at?
For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. A good man out of a good treasure of the heart brings forth good things.
Yeah. And you can feel a sense of peace around a man with a good heart. It's something that's just there that say, man, I can trust you, man. I'm good. Hey, brother.
And an evil man out of the evil treasure brings forth evil things.
An evil man, you be like, man, I feel that. I ain't trying to get in that. You go ahead. I don't want to be no parts of you, right? Ephesians 5 and 11. Listen to what the Apostle Paul said in Ephesians. He was over there in Ephesians and he picked up on something that was going on. And the Apostle Paul said this. See, we have to be real careful about the Apostle Paul. He will throw you a stumbling block, but this time right here, he shot from the hip. Okay? You ready, my brother?
Sir.
Read.
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness.
You know when somebody doing something unfruitful. And if it's unfruitful, it's of darkness. But he said, have no fellowship with it. That means don't partake in it. Read, brother.
But rather reprove them.
He didn't say that them just sit there and do it before you. You got to tell them, no, I don't know, Paul said that's not right. No, you shouldn't do that. You don't have to convince them that it's not right, but tell them it's not right and move on. This is one of my favorite Psalms that we're about to go through. It's Psalms 26. I've been liking this Psalms for almost 10 years now. Well, I like the whole book. All right, I do like the whole book. I like all scriptures in there. I just favor this because this is something that's personal for me. Psalms 26, we're going to start this second verse.
Psalms 26, verse 2. Examine me, oh Yahweh.
You see that? I want to be, it's just like starting a new job. A lot of people start a new job, they trying to teach them something. They want to say, I know, you ain't got to say nothing to me, I know. When I start a new job, they trying to tell me, yeah, man, I need to hear that. Yeah. You can't embarrass me, keep telling me, I want to know. Because I know eventually it's going to take one of you that tell me no more. If I get something wrong in the process you teach me something, tell me I got it wrong so I can get it right. So once I get it right, I got it right. And it'll stay right? So in the same sense, we always want our Elohim, our Hamashiach, to examine us and what?
And prove me.
Try my reins in my heart. Because if I have a stronghold that I am actually living, now I'm actually dealing with, then that particular stronghold, I want it brought to my attention. If it's a bad stronghold, if I have a good one, I want it. Like the Sabbath, I like to keep that. Right? I'm faithful. I try to be as faithful if I can, and I'm doing pretty good to the high holy days. I'm faithful to a lot of things that I would like to keep. But there's something wrong about me that I have a stronghold, something I can't remove from me. I like that he would keep that before me, so it's something I can focus on. It's something I can deal with. Maybe I might be dealing with how I say this or how I say that. Let me know that's what it is so I can work on how I say this, how I say that. Right? Don't abandon me in the process. Let me know what it is so I can work on it. Because once again, I am still being worked on by the Most High. If I had it like I need to have it, like our Hamashiach had it, I'd be in a good spot right now. But I'm not. Right? Give me that third verse.
For thy loving kindness is before mine eyes, and I have walked in thy truth.
So we got to understand, right, that it's important to know when you're struggling. It's very important. But we also got to know when we're operating in the positive spirit, into the positive spiritual strongholds too. Keep reading, brother.
I have not sat with vain persons.
Listen to what this thing is saying. This is why I like this thing. I really like this one. Read.
Neither will I go in with dissemblers.
You know, you're going to run into some Hebrews. You're going to run into some Gentiles. You're going to run into some people. You're going to run into your blood cousin, your blood brother. Maybe some of our mothers and fathers. Wives, kids. You're going to run into a whole lot of different people that actually is not good for you. I'm not saying abandon them, but at least you know them and you know how far to deal with them until the Most High can step in and take care of them and work with them for a moment. Because maybe through you and the way you approach them and the way you deal with them, the Most High can work with them based on working through you. If Satan can work through people to cause you to do something wrong, the Most High can work with you, with people in order to get things right. Right? But we gotta be what? Steadfast. That gotta be a strong foothold for us too. Right? And read, brother.
Verse 5. I have hated the congregation of evildoers, and will not sit with the wicked.
Because when you sit with vain people, dissemblers, evildoers, and wicked, and the wicked, it knocks you off your path. Because if all you're hearing is this negativity, all you're hearing is this wrong stuff, right? It's better to sit down and read a book by yourself and be alone than be around somebody talking a bunch of crap that don't mean nothing. Yes, sir.
It just made me think of you go to the bar,
Oh, yeah.
lady, you gonna drink.
And you're going to try to send her one. Go ahead. Oh, that was it? You go to the bar and do what?
Sooner or later, you gonna drink.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people say, I don't drink no more, but they sit at the bar.
Well, they said you hang around a hot dog stand long enough, you're going to buy a hot dog. Right?
It might be pork. Yes, sister, go ahead.
Well, I know I've had some family members that are, and a lot of times they like to say stuff like, well, we have freedom, in Christ, and they're, why, and they will say something like, well, here come the Judaizers or the law people, and the legalizers and stuff like that. So it's like,
But what I have learned,
spying out the liberties we have in Christ and want to try to put you back in
exactly.
under the law of the yoke. And then they would, family members would quote scriptures like what Peter said, don't put anything else on them but to, stay from fornication, idols, and don't put on them any more than what we couldn't even bear. Those.
Think about something, right? Think about this. When our Hamashiach was approached by Satan, what did Satan approach him with? Yes. So you can get it. That's what it's a spiritual warfare. You can have a knife battle, a sword battle going on with scripture. It could be going on. Right? But what I learned is this. This is what I learned. If it took me so long to get it, with the prayers that I have for my family and the love I have for my family and friends, I pray that if they're lacking in anything, that they should have the same opportunity that I had to get it without me saying that they're not worthy. Because when you say that a person is not worthy, you're saying that they have no chance to the kingdom.
Condemning yourself.
And you don't have that power. Better be glad you ain't there. You know what I mean?
Better pray. If the righteous scarcely be saved.
Where would the sinner and the ungodly appear? So we know where the sinner would go, but then it said ungodly. So that means that there's another step in there somewhere between being righteous and a sinner. There's somebody in the middle. And that person in the middle has just as much opportunity. If a man lived his whole life righteous, and in his last days he sinned, he's going to the pit. If a man lived his whole life a sinner, and in his last days he becomes righteous, he goes to the kingdom. It might not sound fair, but it is fair. Because Most High said he do what he want to do. He making the choice, it's not you. Just be sure you straight. You keep the covenant. You walk right. And you never know who is going to be that person that's going to be that influence in you in those final hours. You never know what it's going to be. You never know.
Or when.
Or when. Right? Oh, yeah, bro.
Verse 6.
Yes, sir.
I will wash my hands in innocency.
Yeah.
So will I compass thy altar, O Yahweh.
So a part of what my thinking of what I just said right there, washed my hands in innocence. Because we don't have the power to condemn anybody. Yeah, we don't like what they do. Yeah, we don't like what they say. Yeah, we don't partake in what they do. But I don't know when the Most High might I'm having a problem with cough. Might call on them because remember, the Apostle Paul was out there killing people. And the Most High slapped him blind. And when he came back to it, and you see, he said, look, I'm with you, God. So you never know if he's going to change you, but who he's going to use, where he's going to use, and how he's going to use them, right?
And even Paul, after that happened, I think he basically got to stay on the low for about 2 years, I think it was.
Yeah.
Kind of studying and humbling himself and getting correct before he started stepping back out.
And even when he stepped out, the people that was in the truth didn't trust him. Because you used to kill us.
Yeah, because he was leading bands, still persecuted.
Yes. I mean, you see Paul coming. There's something that you see Paul. You gonna teach my class? If you going in the upper room, I'm going in the lower room. But that sounds like a setup to me. So okay. Let's go ahead and hit that 7th verse.
Verse 7. Then I may publish with the voice of thanksgiving and tell of all thy wondrous works.
So if I'm talking about the wonderful works of the Most High, I'm talking about his greatness, I'm talking about the peace of mind that he's given me, the mind of discernment that he's given me. I talk about how, I talk about how he's this real strong tower in the time of my troubles. I'm talking about stuff, but in the same time, I'm condemning you to say that you don't qualify. Am I a benefit to you? Am I anywhere near being a spiritual uplift to you? No. But the truth is the truth. The book of Obadiah don't lie. The book of Isaiah don't lie. Of Ephesians don't lie. Revelations don't lie. Genesis don't lie. None of that stuff lie. And if you go into the Apocrypha, it's going to be truth there too. If you go into Jasper, if you go anything that the Bible mentioned that we teach out, which is a part, Jasher. I said Jasper. Jasher. Y'all know how I get it. So anything that in the teachings of 1611, and you go for it, there's truth there. Right? So the Bible talks about people being destroyed. The Bible talks about nations being destroyed. But he also talks about a crowd that was made up of many nations that would also make it to the kingdom. And you finish up there, which verse?
Verse 8.
Yes, sir.
The Most High, I have loved the habitation of thy house.
Man, you supposed to love the habitation of his house. And what?
And the place where thy honor dwelleth.
Your honor, his honor dwelleth. Think about that. The place where his honor dwelleth. Right? That means that you love being around people that give him honor. That honor just dwells among those people because those people always have a mind to give him his honor, his praise, and his glory. Right? Let me get 12. Okay, let me get Isaiah 25 and 1. And in the midst of that, I need somebody to pull up Jeremiah 6 and 16.
Isaiah.
25 and 1. I want you to hold tight there, because once you read 1, we're going to hit Jeremiah, then we're going to come back to 2. Okay? I'm ready, brother.
Isaiah 25 and 1.
Yes, sir.
O Yahuwah,
Oh, Yahuwah.
I will exalt you. I will praise your name,
Uh-huh.
for you have done wonderful things.
Mm-hmm.
Your counsels of old are faithfulness and truth.
Your counsels of old. Y'all heard that, right? Your counsels of old. Can you throw in Jeremiah 6 and 16 real quick for me there, brother? Did anybody get it? God, bring it to me.
Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16.
Uh-huh.
Thus saith the Most High,
Uh-huh.
stand in the ways and see,
Uh-huh.
and ask for the old path.
Ask for the old path. You see that? He said he said he loved. Isaiah said, I love the counsel of old faithfulness and truth. And then he came back and Jeremiah said real quick, like he said, stay in the old path. This new thing is changing. If you come at me with a New Living Bible, they change something. Something's not right there because it don't sound right and it points me in the wrong direction.
He's constantly pleading with us to return to him.
Yes.
Return. But what we hear these days is what's old is old. It's all been done away with. But what Yahushua was saying to us is constantly a return.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. Now finish that up on Jeremiah 6.
Where's the good way?
Uh-huh.
And walk therein.
He said, ask about the old path. Where is which is the good way? Uh-huh.
And walk therein.
And you walk in that old path. What?
And you shall find rest for your souls.
Because then you're going to find rest. Yes.
I was thinking about, us, when we was at our old church, the church, the founder came in 1919,
Yeah.
they always hollering, that's the old path. That was only 100 years ago.
Right.
And I don't know what he said was, you gotta do with the salt and reshod, the wheels and all
Right.
that, because they
The old path started right there.
They don't relate.
This is the way he taught it. So we got to go the way he taught it. That's just like if you go to that one church over there on Georgia Avenue, they still got the people been dead almost 50-some years. They still got their pictures up on the wall, praising him, and they always give reference to these people.
Because that's the old path.
Because that's the old path. But the old path is not that. That's the old path. You want to hit the old path, go on back there by something about Melchizedek. Jubilees, come on back forward. Get something that's really stable and come on back with it and walk therein. Because whatever you believe in your heart is what you're going to keep near your heart. If you keep the old path in your heart, it's going to be near your heart. If you look at seasoned people as that they don't know nothing, I'm very smart, I know more than them, you in for a big thing of trouble. You might well say, okay, let's throw the book and do something different. Because you could be misled. It's not always about the new. Sometimes, well not sometimes, always stability is in the foundation. No matter where you are, where you come from a foundation. You got to establish it and hold it. Because that second verse in Isaiah 25 reads what?
For you have made of a city a heap, of a defenced city a ruin, a palace of strangers to be no city. It shall never be built.
Give me Isaiah 55 and 7. Give me 7 through 9. Come on, y'all. Heap is a hazard. It's like a haphazard. Everybody know what a haphazard is, right? You took a city and made it a haphazard. Right? Let's touch this for a second. Let's touch it for a minute. This world is teaching us, showing us that everything, as they build these cities, they got the gated community. If you live in a gated community, you have arrived. Right? And that is something that people like us should stay away from. Because he said that they're going to build a city, and those cities that they build up, these cities they build them as being great, but he's going to make it a heap. The people living out there in Montgomery County, and they were millionaires. The Most High sent a man down through there. I ain't going to say he sent him there, but a man came down through there, held them hostages, killed every one of them, and got their money. Well, he got 40 grand out of there, I think. Man went on trial about 6 months ago. He went to jail. But still.
Similar to also in Revelation when when it goes down, the people are trying to hide in the mountains and in the caves.
Yeah.
Now they've set up their bunkers and stuff like that right now. Mm-hmm. That's going to be of no service or use whatsoever.
And they talk about the defense city. They building cities underground for defense. You can go 9, 10, 11 floors down the ground, and you can pay about $6, $7 million and have yourself a condo down, and you got grocery stores and some of the best foods and everything down there. But when it hit, it's gonna become a ruin. The Most High is not gonna leave that stone unturned. So don't think by you running down there 15 feet and 15 stories in the ground that you saved. You're not saved.
To be begging, as it says in the word, for the mountain to just fall on.
And the scripture says that a palace of strangers to be what? No city. Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Like D.C.
Like D.C.
They building it a defense city.
They running everybody out of D.C.
They got cameras all the way around the line in the city. They running the prices up, so we got to get out. But they sitting there on track.
Put the toll gates and food in it, so when you come in and out, you got to pay.
In D.C., they put the toll gates in there?
They're discussing it there.
Right. So now think about this right here. 85 to 90% of the crime that's committed in D.C. is solved by camera. Back in the day, in the 80s, when I got here, man, they wasn't out there. Cameras weren't out there. And D.C. was actually Chocolate City. It was all black, basically. They raised up the price on some of these old houses that look like they're about to fall down. They'll take everything down but the brick and go inside and redo it and make it really nice and everything. Right? And they drive the price up on it. You can't afford it. You got to go. And then they found an old worn down house that your mother or your father may have owned, and they offer you $300,000 for this house. You sell it. Sometimes you get a lot less than that because they get you. And then you come back after they rehab this house. This house is worth $7,000, $8,000, $1 million. So if you live in a neighborhood, and the neighborhood is between $800,000 and $1 million, who's gonna be able to pay that mortgage? I had to get me I had to go to a little mini house and put on back the trailer. I be living. You know, people say you living large, you living small. I had to keep that down thing on it. There's such thing as down low. I had to keep it on that. But it says that the city shall never be built. Even though they're working on it today, the city should never be built because the Most High is not going to allow it, because what they build as a strong tower, the tower that he represents is way more greater than their tower. No matter how high they build their tower, when war comes, he'll always be looking down on them. And the greatest advantage is the height. Yes, ma'am.
It takes me back to first, about the tower battle. He can't struck that down. Then also made me think about when he died, when he was talking about them trying to set the lights upon the stars. But
yes.
You
see that? Y'all see that? My brother got a script right here.
Amos 9, chapter 2.
Yes, sir.
Though they dig into hell, then shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. Though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them.
Ain't no way out. No matter where they go. Yes, ma'am.
No, condos, I don't know if everybody knows, but certain condos, the higher the floor, the more they charge.
Wow.
It could be the exact same condo, but if it's on the 12th floor, they're going to charge you more than it would be on the 3rd floor.
Wow.
Pay for the view.
Check this out, guys. Who got Isaiah 55:7?
I got that.
Check this out real quick. So y'all, we dealing with strong towers, right? Check this out right quick. Let's try these shoes on for a size. Let's see if they fit. You ready, my brother?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Isaiah 55:7.
55 verse 7.
Let the wicked forsake his way,
Let the wicked forsake his way.
and the unrighteous man his thoughts.
Uh-huh.
And let him return unto El Yahuwah,
Uh-huh.
and he will have mercy upon him.
Uh-huh.
And to our Elohim, for he will abundantly pardon.
Read.
For my thoughts are not your thoughts,
Uh-huh.
neither are your ways my ways, says Yahuwah.
Uh-huh.
For as the heavens are higher than the earth,
Uh-huh.
so are my ways higher than your ways,
Uh-huh.
and my thoughts than your thoughts.
Read. Now hold on. Think about this. So we said the greatest advantage is the high area, right? On top of the hill, right? Right? That's what we say, right? What is the highest point of your body? Right? It's your head, ain't it? Whether you want to be or not, it is. It's your head. Where's your mind? If you get your mind right, if your mind is right, then that is your strongest weapon that you have as a person, as a being. When your mind is set right and it is righteous and according to the covenant of the Most High, that is your strongest power. If your mind is carnal, you have just lowered yourself, you just lowered your head down to your stomach. Because your thoughts are not as high. They're not high. His thoughts are higher than your thoughts. So if you're thinking like his word, then you're thinking like him. Now you have elevated your thoughts. You've elevated your mind. You've elevated your ways. Until you elevate those things, you are still nothing but carnal-minded. Did we read 9? We did read 9. Let's go into Isaiah 25 again. You can get that right here, Brother Kevin. Either one of y'all can get it. 25, we're going to hit 3. We're going to run down through 7 right quick, right? And then I'm going to need somebody to grab me real quick. I'm going to see, we'll see what this brings us, whether I hit this next script or what I'm going to jump.
Isaiah 25:3.
Yes, sir.
Therefore shall the strong people glorify you.
Uh-huh.
The city of the terrible nations shall fear you.
Uh-huh.
For you have been a strength to the poor,
Ah, y'all heard that right. Read.
a strength to the needy in his distress,
We were just talking about that. Keep going.
a refuge from the storm,
Uh-huh.
a shadow from the heat.
Uh-huh.
When the blast of the terrible ones is as a storm against the wall.
Against the wall. When you have a high tower, in most cases, there's a wall around it. Read, brother.
You shall bring down the noise of strangers, as the heat in a dry place. Even the heat with the shadow of a cloud. The branch of the terrible ones shall be brought low.
So it don't matter where they build these big towers at. It don't matter how. There's a few other things going on. I don't care to get into that conversation about these monuments and stuff. But it don't matter how big they make it. It's not gonna make them no more of a man. Right? Do some research on that. Y'all know where I'm coming from. It don't matter. Why do you think they're making these big buildings? Because it make their testosterone get bigger. You know, they're a bigger man. You know what I mean? I got Trump Tower. Just over there. When the Russians come in, they gotta stay at my tower. Yeah, you know.
It's that way. It's that way also. Mentality sometimes with big churches too. Like
Yeah.
like establishment, big church.
My cross higher than your cross. Yes, ma'am.
And I was saying how society builds up wealth that's kind of hoarded as more favorable than wealth given. Like that billionaire who paid off all those student loans.
Yes.
You heard about it 2 days and it's gone. But you see
Right.
some of these wealthy people who build these towers for no assistance to no one else but for more wealthy people. They talk about them for years.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
They did that when they did that very thing, you know, when Notre Dame or whatever just got burned up. And they started talking about all the billionaires that were going to contribute to building that thing back up. I was in the news for some weeks, man.
Did y'all see the one when the cathedral over there in London or somewhere got burned down? Did y'all see all the people go to the rescue? Billionaires, all of them going. They got to rescue. They got to get that thing built back.
They moved all the artifacts out of it before this pit was burned down.
That's almost like the trade center. Because the gold disappeared before the trade center got burned.
They never talked about, so people started to talk against them giving that money, because there were people like Flint, Michigan, and places like that. But they had gotten billions of dollars, and there is no talk about where that money is now.
Wow. Wow, you see that?
And the criminal charges against the people, incidentally, in Flint just got dropped. They just got dropped. All is clear. Just I think like Thursday or Friday.
And that's not.
And then the police thought, well, we'll continue to investigate.
Right, in their sleep. In their sleep. They're sending some false doctrine out here, some false, something that they done done. But the most just like the sister just said, the most high know. Ain't no way around it. Ain't no air in it at all. What'd you stop at, bro? I think you want to hit that, hit verse 5.
Oh, yeah. I did 5 over 6. We're going to do some again?
No, go ahead and hit 6. No, we didn't finish 5. Just stop back at 5.
Okay. You shall bring down the noise of strangers as the heat in a dry place, even the heat with the shadow of a cloud. The branch of the terrible one shall be brought low.
You did finish it. Read.
And in this mountain shall Yahuwah Zephayot make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wines on the leaves, a fat of fat things full of marrow, of wines on the leaves well refined. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations.
Did everybody get that? You get your hand, brother? Oh. Oh. Because you wanted to speak, brother, out of y'all. Oh, she's standing up, she can't go by there, huh? We're gonna get her out of there in a minute. Right here. So listen, did y'all hear what he just read? Did everybody read? Did anybody pay attention to what he just read? What is that? That is something that we know about. That is the actual occasion that's going to come place. Did everybody understand? Can you please read from 3 down to 7 again? I'm sorry about that. We got to go. Y'all pay attention to what this brother is reading.
Isaiah 25 and 3.
Yes, sir. Here comes the nugget. Please.
Therefore shall the strong people glorify you. The city of the terrible nations shall fear you. For you have been a strength to the poor, a strength to the needy in his distress, a refuge from the storm, a shadow from the heat, when the blast of the terrible ones is as a storm against the wall. You shall bring down the noise of strangers as the heat in a dry place, even the heat with the shadow of a cloud. The branch of the terrible one shall be brought low. And in this mountain shall Yahuwah Zephayot make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wines on the leaves, of fat things full of marrow, of wines on the leaves well refined. And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations.
Right there. Hold tight. Did anybody catch it? Y'all did get it?
Yeah, I believe I see. I see something. Let's put that. This is like the about to.
What mountain is that? Huh? Mount Zion, am I correct? He's talking about a feast in Mount Zion. What is the feast in Mount Zion? No, this ain't one. That was one, but the one he's talking about, if you I don't want to read this. It's like 9 verses. Go ahead, let's do it. Let's do it. I said it was according to how it went, whether I was going to do this or not, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Is it Feast of Tabernacles?
No. But it's something, it's a feast though. It's one that we never had before.
Would you say so?
What did it say?
He said Feast of Dedication.
I'm waiting on the young lady. Well, what?
She was thinking that.
I know, I thought she had it. Yeah, I thought she had it. I thought she had it based on what, because based on what your brother said, you should have got it. Huh? Did y'all hear it? Did y'all hear it? Say it again, Sister Kelly. Carol, did you tell her?
No.
Well, Kelly, I figured you would say it. Say it again.
The wedding feast.
Give me Matthew 22, 2 through 10. That's the wedding feast. You know I had to have one nugget, right? You know I didn't put it on your copy, right? Matthew 22, verse 2.
Matthew.
Run down from 10.
Matthew 22.
I'm not going to interrupt, listen to him.
The kingdom of heaven.
Listen to the book.
The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. Again, he sent forth other servants, saying, Tell them which are bidden, Behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage. But they made light of it.
Israel broke the covenant. Keep going.
And went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise.
I gotta watch my car today. I got something real important to do today. I can't be there. I just got things to do. I just cannot validate the Sabbath.
They're attending to carnal things.
Yes. They're back into their carnal mind. They've taken over and they're doing carnal things, which make them what? Carnal, which separate them from their what? Elohim, and now they don't have the high tower. Read, brother.
And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them.
You see that? When they went out, right? When they broke the covenant and they got amongst the heathen, they did what to them? They said, and the remnant took the servants and entreated them spitefully. Spitefully. Think about it. Spitefully. You can't worship on Saturday, you gotta worship on Sunday. Everybody gotta come up under the Catholics. All this stuff, the blue law, right? All of them things that we know of true. It's spitefully done that Israel may be separated from their Elohim. Read, brother.
But when the king heard thereof,
When the king heard about that,
he was wroth,
oh, he was pissed off. Y'all think how much y'all got mad? Keep going.
and he sent forth his army.
Did what?
He sent forth his army
And
destroyed those murderers and burned up their city.
all that, remember that? All this gonna take place, right? Keep on, brother.
Then said he to his servants, The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy.
Why not worthy? 2/3 of Israel is not supposed to make it. We just gonna go with the 1/3. Keep going, brother.
Go ye therefore into the highway,
To the Gentiles.
and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage.
And now that's why the Gentiles, and that's why the Jews and the Gentiles gonna be a part of this thing. That's why he saw a nation. He saw a crowd of many nations that no man could number. Read, brother.
So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests.
Both Jews and Gentiles. Boom. All right, that's good. Let's go. Let's hit Isaiah right quick. Isaiah 25. We're back to you, brother Kevin. Isaiah 25 and 8. We almost finished this up, guys. 25 and 8.
Isaiah 25 and 8.
1 Corinthians 15 and 55.
He will swallow up death in victory.
Say what now?
He will swallow up death in victory.
He will swallow up death in victory. Read.
And Adonai Yahuwah will wipe away tears from all faces. And the rebuke of his people shall he take away from all of the earth. from off all the earth. For Yahuwah has spoken it.
Y'all know, how many of y'all know that Satan is holding death over y'all head, or over our head? And so that's one stronghold that he have on us. But if we're not in sin, why are we worried about it? Right? 1 Corinthians 15 and 55. Who got that? Got that. Hold tight, brother, right there at Isaiah 25. I'll come right back at you.
1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 55.
Death is being held as a stronghold. Death is a stronghold. Everybody want to go to the kingdom, but don't nobody want to die. Go ahead.
O death, where is thy sting?
Oh, death, where is thy sting?
O grave, where is thy victory?
Grave, you can't win. You can kill me. You can put me in the grave. There's no victory because I'm in who? I'm in my Homashiach. Read.
The sting of death is sin.
If you the sting of death is sin. If you have no sin, there's no sting in death. Read.
And the strength of sin is the law.
Read.
But thanks be to the Most High, which give us this victory through our
Hamashiach.
Yeshua.
So the threat of death is a stronghold. The threat of death is a stronghold. But guess what though? Only through sin will it be a stronghold. Only through sin will it be a stronghold. Brother Kevin, let's go back to 9.
All right, Isaiah 25 and 9.
16, 18.
Isaiah 25 and 9. And it shall be said in that day, Lo, this is our Elohim. We have waited for him, and he will save us. This is Yahuwah. We have waited for him. We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation. Read. For in this mountain shall the hand of Yahuwah rest, and Moab shall be trodden down under him, even as straw is trodden down from the dunghill.
So if we allow our minds to rest in the resting place of our Elohim, then our strongholds become no issue. Because he is the strong tower.
And his salvation is Yahuwah. Yahushua means Yahuwah is salvation.
Yes. 11 verse.
And he shall spread forth his hands in the midst of them, as he that swims spreads forth his hands to swim. And he shall bring down their pride together with the spoils of their hands.
So when you underwater swimming and you going out like this and you, I don't swim, I saw somebody. I saw little Chris down underwater up there. That boy was getting it, boy. You wouldn't believe he ain't been swimming for like 2 weeks. This boy was getting it. But what he was doing, he was keeping his feet and his hand would come out like this and spread the water and pull it forward. You keep moving, that boy came on across that pool. So when I saw the scripture, I thought about Chris, right? So that's a true story. But it says that he will do what? He will, and what's right here? It says that, and he that swimmeth spreadeth forth his hands to swim. What? And he shall what? Bring down what? Their pride together with the spoils of their hands. Their pride. Their pride. Their pride. Pride comes where? Well, we're going to find out. Y'all got it right anyway.
He said bringing their pride down together with the spoils of their hands. So all of the stuff that they've got in their pride, or they're seeking carnality.
Because the stuff that they have is their pride. Yes, ma'am.
My head, I don't know if you're about to get it.
No, what now?
The man who built his barns.
I wasn't, but go ahead.
And he said, he had so much stuff and he kept filling up these barns and he's like, I got more stuff. I should make bigger barns.
Yeah.
I said that food this night. That's so
Yeah. You gonna die, leave everything you got in your barn, you fool. Go get yourself some salvation.
Storing up the wrong treasure.
Wrong one. Go ahead, my brother. That 12th verse. Where's that? I can see him. Who was it? You? Okay, my brother. Go ahead.
In this scripture that y'all had just read, I forget what it was, but it said that the strength of sin is the law. The law.
Right.
Right. So, and with time having that holding death over our heads,
right,
is that people are not willing to read and find out what it is they should and should not be doing.
Right.
And that alone That's why keeping them in that carnal mindset because they don't know what to do.
Right. So you think about it, Constantine and all those other critters that misled us wrote a different law. That's why they call it the Constantine Blue Law. Mm-hmm. They're more apt to what? Follow suit on the blue law than to follow suit on the law of our Hamashiach, which make them what? Fall short. Mm-hmm. By them falling short, now death has a sting. He can hold that over their head.
And also, just like you're saying, I mean, obviously sin, as the word says, sin is the transgression of the law.
Yes.
So how do you know when you sin? Well, the law is letting you know what that transgression is. Now later on, I think it's Paul. I'm not sure, but he's talking about hey, we're not under the law.
That's Paul.
He's talking about things that we're not. Well, that's
he was talking to the Galatians. Go ahead.
Yeah, but more so what he's talking about there is if we're living according to the Spirit, we're not violating the covenant.
They don't pertain to me.
Right.
Because the law was made for the sinner. Right. If you live in righteousness, there's no law against righteousness.
Right. So it's there for correction.
Yes. Yes.
Doesn't mean it was not valid. It's there.
That's why I said that the law is the strength.
Right.
Right.
And that's also why they say if someone come to you and they're not coming to you within the law and the testimony,
ain't no truth in them.
Ain't no truth in them.
The light is not in them.
Because the law is the truth according to Scripture.
So what did the testimony? All is the same, right? So I got a sister with a hand up back there.
Real quick, it's on a carnal nature. I ran a yellow light one time in D.C. and the cop pulled me over and said, "You ran a yellow light." I said, "How do you run a yellow light?"
Right.
How do you run a yellow light?
Right.
He said, "Well, this is a new law. You can't run a yellow light." I said, "Well, you should take it out." He said, "Have a green light and a red light."
Right.
Because the yellow light kind of is like a little leeway.
That's a grace. That's a grace.
And he said, "Well, I'm going to give you a ticket because it's against the law to run a yellow light." I said, "Well, I never heard of such a thing." Well, he said, "It doesn't matter if you never heard of it. It's the law. So you must pay the ticket." So saying that, for people to say, "I'm not going to read the law," doesn't give them a pass.
Exactly.
They don't give you a pass to say, "I'm not reading it because I won't be held accountable."
Oh, you will.
Because I know a lot of people say, "It's too much information for me, so I'm not going to read it." Okay, but at the end game, you're going to be judged by the book.
Exactly.
Whether you know it or not, he's going to look and say, "Why didn't you read the book?"
Because John said, "I saw a book." Right? And everybody was judged by that book. Give me that 12 verse.
Isaiah 25:12.
Proverbs 16:18.
And the fortress of the high fort of your walls shall he bring down, lay low, and bring to the ground, even to the dust.
So all the stuff that they said before them to build their kingdom here on earth is going to be torn down anyway. Right? Real quick, Proverbs 16:18.
Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18.
Because listen now, he said he's going to bring down their pride together what? With their spoils. So read this.
Verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction,
Pride goes before destruction.
and an haughty spirit before a fall.
What?
Better it is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud.
A lot of people's pride won't let them seek the truth. A lot of people's pride won't let them seek the law. A lot of people's pride won't even read the covenant. But they remove that pride and get a humble spirit to themselves, and they just consider it. And they see the truth in it. Once you see the truth in it, you cannot go away from it because now you know. A lot of people think, like you're saying, if they don't read it, they're not held accountable. But yes, I beg to differ. You are held just as much accountable for the one that read it, especially if he told you about it. But anyway, give me Psalms, real quick, Psalms 26 and 11.
Psalms 26 and 11.
James 4 and 6. Go ahead.
But as for me, I will walk in mine integrity.
But see, we got to think about it. We got to remove that pride and get some integrity and walk in our integrity. What?
Redeem me and be merciful unto me.
Because We must choose integrity over pride. With integrity brings a better chance of merciful reception from the Most High. Well, we got James 4:6, and what did Brother James say about that? Psalm 32:7.
But he giveth more grace.
But he giveth more grace. Who he talking about? He talking about Hamashiach, our Most High, what?
Wherefore he said, Yahweh resisteth the proud.
And he gonna resist the proud, he gonna give grace to the others, what?
But giveth grace unto the humble.
He gonna give grace to the humble. Being pride ain't doing it's causing the Most High to even resist you. You praying, you thinking something's going through, but there's a wall there. And the 7th verse is what?
Submit yourself, therefore, to the Most High. Resist the devil.
Because with that pride, you are doing nothing but serving Satan. What?
And he will flee from you.
When you resist, if you want to get rid of Satan, praise the Most High. Start giving the Most High some praise. Just praise him for anything. I wink my eye. Oh, praise the Most High. I can wink my eye. I'm saying, when you give the Most High praise, I'm telling you, Satan got to flee. Because they're like two northbound magnets. Satan cannot, how would you say it? He cannot be around, or he cannot receive or be a witness to the praise of the Most High. That reminds him of where he's going. Right? Okay, now, Psalm 32:7.
Psalm 32:7. You are my hiding place.
We got to realize that we got to put the Most High before us and let him be our protector. He always talked about in the Old Testament and the New Testament about his hidden one. Israel is his hidden one. Those people that keep the covenant with the Most High is his hidden one. His hidden one. So yes, you are my hiding place. What?
You shall preserve me from trouble.
He will preserve you from trouble. What?
You shall compass me about with songs of deliverance. Selah.
We need to, I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with dealing with songs of praise. If every time you get in your car, you got to listen to a rap song, a do dilly dally and the blues and all that stuff, your mindset is going to be going do dilly dally and the blues stuff. It's not going to be on praising the Most High at all. But if you get in your car and you praise the Most High, you listen to praise songs, I'm telling you, Satan will flee. You might not have that action that you're going to have, but you got to just watch out because the Most High, he does what he do. I was talking about you since you're coming. And she just, somebody hit her. When you're fault, you covered. He covered you twice. We ain't talking about that, but he covered you twice. There ain't nothing but that right there should be praising right there. I'd have took that, he cranked it up. Oh, not you. I'd have been on that thing, I'd have cranked it up. Because he gave us that blessing in one. We ain't gonna get into it, but yes, he did. Psalms 32:7, did we do that? We did that. So we gotta remember, right, that strongholds are broken when we give the Most High praise. When we pray, they are broken, right? His word and his song of praise of the Elohim. Right? When Hashatan here, the evil spirit cannot attack it. It got to run. Last but not least, Philippians 2:12 through 12 read thus follows.
Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed.
The Apostle Paul said that he has always obeyed.
Not as in my presence only.
Don't do it around his presence. You know, they know that he was bringing the word. That he's the icon of bringing the word. But around him, people suck it up. But what did he say? Not just in my presence only, but what?
But now, much more in my absence.
He said, don't do it before me. Don't do it before man. Do it in my absence when you're doing it before the Most High. Read.
Work out your own salvation.
So that's how you going to work out your own salvation. What?
With fear and trembling.
You better fear something, because if not, you're going to tremble later. May Most High be the best of reading this word. Okay, so now we're going to say a prayer, right? We do have a couple of candidates. One is for baptism and the other one is for a Christian, not a Christian, but a dedication. Right? Is there any more dedication? Is there any more baptism?
No!
No? You like the water. You like the water. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna